calling me for early in the morning. I have no idea. All right. Another 15 seconds. And I got 10 minutes. That is it. We'll see about this test though. All right. That's what I forgot to do. Too late now. I'm not getting back up. All right. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Don't have a whole lot of time today. Got a lot of stuff to cover, ironically. Never have enough time to do what I need to do, but I'm going to touch on a few things lightly and try to see if I can get this done in less than 10 minutes. Last night, Yo Mama. All right. Let's see. Port. I want it. Okay. As I was saying, there's a lot going on last night in the sports world. Starting out with Denver taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. That game went into double overtime last night, and Minnesota ended up winning, and people are wanting to blame Russell Westbrook for the loss. Well, he had a couple major mistakes he made last night. He got a gift wrap steal, and instead of just trying to seal the clock or run the clock, he takes the steal and shoots down the court for a layup. Well, only give him like a 3-point lead, and because you got a 3-point lead, the other team still has a chance. Well, the mistake was he didn't burn any clock. He could have raced down the court and pulled it back, let them foul him, and you go to the line and then go from there. But no, by getting to the basket so quick, you don't burn off a whole lot of time, and it gives the other team another chance. As you know, in the NBA, if you call a timeout, you can advance the ball to half court. You can't do that on the other levels, but the NBA you can. So 3 seconds is an eternity to get off a shot, and they had much more time than that. The second mistake he made, they tried to hit the 3-point shot to tie it. He fouls the shooter. Mistake. And that put Minnesota right back into position to take care of business, and they end up winning the game. And because of Westbrook's mistakes, he's getting the blame for the loss. But he's making millions. I don't really think he cares. The Nuggets are still going to go to the playoffs, and this game will be forgotten about in a couple of days. But what's noteworthy also about this game is Jokic. He ran off for 50 points, had another 10 rebounds, and he didn't have that many assists. But that is a tremendous performance by Jokic. At the same time Jokic was doing this, Steph Curry went off again. He had 52 points, and a lot of that 52 points was comprised of 12 three-pointers. Now, the record is 14, and he did a great job of getting 12 out. And I don't know if he's fully healthy, but, you know, the guy's capable of going off like this all the time, and I don't know why he doesn't. Maybe he's saving it for the playoffs, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But a great performance by Curry and Jokic, and again, Westbrook is being saddled with the loss to the Wolves last night. JC, what's going on, man? Philip Henry, good morning. Just got a few minutes to talk. I got a serious thing to take care of in about 10 minutes, so I'm trying to run through this real quick. Now, if you guys look at that thumbnail I got, I don't know why my images get cut off. I have them sized just right, and then when I put them on there, they seem to not fit the screen. I don't know why that's the case, but that is the picture of this guy, Olivier Rue, who is a center for the Florida Gators basketball team. Now, he doesn't play because he's been redshirted. He comes out of Canada, but he's noteworthy because he's the tallest player on the Gators team, everybody else's team, and any other team that ever came along. Rue The freshman out of Canada is 7 feet 9 inches. You heard me. 7 feet 9 inches. The tallest player ever in college basketball. Now, Zach Edey, he was like 7'4" or 7'5". He also come out of Canada. Which begs the question, what are they feeding these kids to get them so big? Well, you want an idea about big? Rue, going into the 6th grade, this man was 6 feet. No, I take that back. At 8 years old, he was 6 feet 1 inch. Going into the 6th grade, he was 6 feet 11 inches. And by the time this guy was in the 7th grade, he was already 7-footer. Can you imagine a middle school basketball team going up against a 7-foot center? They don't stand a chance. And not only do they not stand a chance, you just got a couple guys that just quit forever because they don't stand a chance, man. What can a middle school or 6th grader do against a guy that's almost 7 foot? Man, that's insane, man. But it's noteworthy because this guy, again, he's the tallest player ever in NCAA basketball history, but he's redshirted. Why isn't he playing now? Because he's not suited to play now. Because he's so big, turnarounds are too much for him. He can't keep up with the switch of pace enough to get on the court. So what they're saying in Gainesville is that, of course, he can't play this year. Next year, it might be a stretch to get him on the court. But if they can keep developing him, not this year, but the year afterward, then you start hearing more about this guy, Rue. But if it was me in critical situations, I'm putting a tall guy out there on the court just for defensive purposes. You don't have to run up and down the floor on offense. You just stay down here and cover the middle and swat the shots. That's all I need you to do. Hell, snatch him out of the air if you want. I don't care. But if there's also shots of this guy with him standing underneath the rim and with his hands up and he's missing the goal by about that much. That's how big this guy is, man. And I didn't know they had a player that big, and I just happened to see an article on it the other day about this guy, and that's ridiculous how big this guy was, especially at such a young age. Awesome to me. Now, the other thing that's going on, NFL, they're making their rules changes and going over things that they should change. One of the things under consideration, as I told you before, they were going to talk about that tush push, whether or not it should be outlawed. It was actually Green Bay who proposed it, and they haven't made any decision on it yet. But I think at some point that's going to go away because that's one play that looks completely different from any other play that you have in football. I mean, if you can come up with it and execute it and do something, fine. But I think because you can't stop it for the most part, it's going to get outlawed because it's going to come to a point where players are going to get hurt. If you're doing that against my defense all the time, and that's just the way it is, and I can't stop you, I'm going to resort to such tactics like what you saw the Commanders doing, trying to time the snap up and jump over the top, only to get hit with these offside penalties and threat to being awarded a score. Well, if I have no other recourse and you're going to keep running that play, well, guess who's running the play? Your quarterback. And on the bottom of the pile, you can't see your quarterback. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to grab him by the neck and hold on to it. And he's going to go back to the sideline and tell his coach what happened. And you won't see that no more. If you do see it, it's going to be somebody other than that quarterback. Kind of like what Baltimore did with Andrews. They weren't using Lamar Jackson for that. They brought in the tight end to run that play. So I understand that thoroughly because if you keep doing that to me, if we got no other way to stop you, we're going to start doing some unsavory things under the pile, and we're going to stop you one way or the other. So kudos to the Eagles for coming up with that play and running it to the point where nobody can stop it. But you just best believe that a team like me, a coach like me, we're going to find a way to stop that run, and we're going to choke him till he turn colors. And he won't be coming through there no more, I guarantee you. And if you don't believe that's possible, Patrick Mahomes started doing it when the Eagles first started. He came out limping one time. Mahomes hadn't done it again. So keep that in mind as we move forward. But the other noteworthy change that the NFL is considering, they are now saying that flags can be reviewed. No longer just because a flag is on the field and you know it's a bad call, everybody else knows it's a bad call. Now it can be reviewed as a bad call, and that is huge. But the question is, how many times are you going to have calls like that overturned? if you're going to keep overturning calls or scrutinizing the officials so much that everything has to be looked at, then the days of the officials, they're going to go away. It's all going to be electronic, and then people are really going to hate that because you're not going to get through the games because every play somebody's making some kind of violation. And I think all this technology is great, but you can't eliminate the human aspect of it because now you're talking about something that nobody really wants to see. And that's in my opinion. So we'll see how that goes with these rule changes. But the tush push survives right now. But that flag review, that is huge, man. And finally, the Yankees made a lot of noise, hitting a lot of homers in the spring training. And rumor is because of this new bat they have. It's called a torpedo. Well, the torpedo bat is fat at the end where batters usually make contact. So basically what they've done, they analyze the numbers from each players and realize where the players are making most of the contact. And where they're making most of the contact, they have made their bats bigger in that area. So they're calling that the torpedo bat. Well, people are saying it should be outlawed, but according to Major League Baseball rules, it's not a violation because according to 302, the bat has to be 2.61 diameters at its thickest, not just in certain proportions, which means this is all flexible. And as long as it's one single piece of wood and it's not over that diameter or more than 42 inches long, you got a legal bat. So this bat is not going anywhere anytime soon. What you're going to see is more and more teams do the same thing. So baseball is just going to become a homer fest, kind of like the NBA has become a three-point shooting contest. And then that's when I think you'll start to see rules changes take place because seeing the homers are fine all the time, but that's not really the meat of the game. The meat of the game is playing defense. And if all you can do is sit back there and hit home runs all the time, then that's going to turn a lot of people off. But it does turn heads when you see the Yankees, when they come out on opening day and the first three batters swat home runs. Why is that the case? Now, I know these players are getting better, and I would never say that the equipment is the reason why they're doing it. But at the same time, it does help them. And if they find a technological way to make that happen, then it has to be something to it. And the other team's going to catch on to that real quick. And you're going to see a whole bunch of hits in a whole lot of games. But I will admit, though, when I first saw that, I just thought maybe that the Brewers, they didn't have a good pitching staff because they gave up a whole lot of runs real quick. And they came back the next day. It started out fine in the second game, but they got run off then too. So it just leads me to believe, based on the experience I have on my own team, that the Brewers just don't have the pitching staff to keep with the Yankees. And that's just my opinion on it. So we'll keep our eye on way things go with the torpedo bat, but I really don't see it going away anytime soon. All right, real quick. Hi from Indonesia. D-Like, is this a real question here? Yes, he is to blame. Well, perhaps. Jack says he's a Timberwolves fan, so you can imagine he don't care. And the question is, should the Major League ban the bat? Most people are saying yes, and I'm saying you're saying that because you don't have the bat yourself. But once you get that bat, stand by for a second. Once you get your bat, you're going to be doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So I don't think the bat is going anywhere anytime soon, and you have to give the Yankees credit for developing that. And the interesting thing about that is, even though the Yankees guy developed it, he's no longer with the Yankees. He's with another organization in the scout department, I believe. So you never know who can help your team in any capacity. And right now, these smart guys, they're coming up with ways to find ways to help your team win. But this bat is going to spread like wildfire through the rest of the league. I can guarantee you that. All right. So real quick, I had to introduce you guys, if you haven't known, to this guy, Olivier Rue. It's a French name. It's probably from Eastern Canada with a name like that. So, they got that French heritage there. And this guy is 7'9", tallest player ever in college basketball history, currently playing with the Gators. He is a redshirt freshman, and this guy was noteworthy about him. This man was 6'1" at 8 years old. Then He was 6'11" going into the sixth grade, and he had already crossed 7 feet by the time he became a freshman. I mean, a seventh grader. So this guy here, who's to say if he's not going to continue to grow? But they got that disease when you start growing too much. He probably won't live too long if he keeps growing the way he is. But his problem right now, he's not on the floor because he can't transfer back and forth as quick as the pace of the game. And that's the reason why he's got the red shirt. And they're anticipating that he probably won't be ready next year, but he's going to be getting more and more prepared the more times he spends getting used to the American game. Just a little bit too fast for him right now. But you can imagine what kind of presence he's going to be once he gets to the point where he can get up and down both ends of the floor. He's probably going to have to go to a team that slows it down, and that would make his transition easier. But it can be done. It just he just got to get some agility to him. And Curry and Jokic last night went for over 50 points. What's notable about Curry at 12 3-pointers, and Jokic, he's going to be Jokic. And I just don't see how can you stop a center who can do everything and get the ball low and hit shots and pass it out of there. It's like pick your poison on the defense. And that makes a guy like Rue, once he learns how to move, he's going to be deadly because who's going to be able to guard a guy that's 7'9"? Maybe Zach Edey, but Edey right now he moves better than Rue, and who knows how that's gonna take place. And other than that torpedo bat, I think is going to be here to stay, and everybody else is going to start getting the same bat because according to the rules, it's not illegal. So because of that, I think what's going to happen with the torpedo bat and things like that, when they start getting close to some of these sacred home run records, and they're always talking about juicing the ball and everything else, they're going to come up with something to try to get the rules to change to get baseball in a more traditional pattern where you don't have so many home runs. Or the question is, do you really want to see a whole lot of home runs? I don't know. But that's just my opinion on the situation. But anyway, got some business I got to take care of. I appreciate you guys chiming in with me. Let me take a look at this poll. 89% of you say that torpedo bat should go. I'm not in on that just yet. I think that if it fits the rules, even though it's an outlier, if it's legal, then you need to come up with a way to try to counter that. And I really don't see how you're going to be able to do it. Kind of like with that tush push, it's going to make the league is going to have to make some changes to their own rules to kind of balance things out in this particular case. Tucson, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you liking. Got a little testing I got to do today, so I got to get up out of here, go pick up my stuff. But again, I appreciate you guys chiming in. If I get some breaking news that comes down later on today, I come back on. If not, I catch you guys in the morning. So until the next time, this has been Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Have a great day. But I got to go to work. Feeling for life, I'm fine, man. I hope you're doing fine. But I got to run up out of here, man. Go take care of some business. So appreciate you guys chiming in. Have a great day. Sports for Real. We out.